everybody. I'm Miss Wolfish and I'm a FoodPrints teacher, and today I'm excited to talk to you about change. Change can feel kind of scary, and we may not always like it very much. But today I also want to talk to you about how change can also be really helpful. So the first thing that we're going to do is a little experiment together. So what I want you to do is cross your arms, however is comfortable for you, whatever feels natural. And I want you to sit like that for just a minute and feel how comfortable that felt when you just went into that position. Okay, so we're crossing our arms. And what I'm about to ask you to do next may feel a little less comfortable. So what I want you to do is take the arm that's on top and move it to the bottom, and the one that's on the bottom and move it to the top. So we're going to go opposite of what we're doing now. Ready? It might take you a second to think about it. Okay, so I want you to sit like that for just a minute. And notice, how does that feel to you? What do you think about that? For me, it felt a little uncomfortable. I had to actually think about what I was doing rather than it coming naturally. And it doesn't feel totally comfortable still. I can do it, but I don't love it. Sometimes that's how change can feel. Change can feel uncomfortable. We sometimes can get through it even if we don't really love it. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we can adapt to it and it can get much more comfortable as time goes on. In FoodPrints class, I started thinking about all the places where we see change and how we actually really love change in FoodPrints class for a couple of reasons. The first thing that came to mind is caterpillars, right? If they didn't change and form their chrysalis to become butterflies, we would never see butterflies. So I like that kind of change. There's even a little song to help me remember. It goes like this. Fuzzy little caterpillar climbed upon a leaf, spun a little chrysalis, and then she fell asleep. While she was sleeping, she dreamed that she could fly, and when she woke up, she was a butterfly. That helps me remember the cycle of a butterfly and how it's really important that we have change, because otherwise we wouldn't see those beautiful butterflies. The second place where we see change a lot is in our seasons. And because of our changes in our seasons, we also see a lot of variety in vegetables. So for example, not everyone would be happy if we had this really hot heat that we have in the summer all year round. Some of our vegetables can grow really well, and others would struggle with that. Things like tomatoes grow really well in the summer, but they're not strong enough to last through the winter. So we get new vegetables in the winter, things that are really hardy and strong. I personally like winter because where I grew up, it gets very cold in the winter, so it makes me think of home. So we like that variety in our seasons, not just because it's nice for us. We get all kinds of nice things in each different season, but also because our vegetables need that. We need that for some variety in our food. And the third place where I see change a lot is in the kitchen. We're often changing foods to make them more edible or to make them more delicious, to put them into a recipe. The best example I have for you is noodles. These are uncooked noodles. And if we are like uncooked noodles, we are inflexible. So if I take one like this and I put too much pressure on it, it's going to snap. And when it snaps, I can't put it back together, right? But if I prepare my noodles properly, I can prepare them and then they can bend and move whichever way I want them to go. So when we're thinking of us adapting to change, we should be like the cooked spaghetti noodles, right? We should be cooked and prepared for what's coming ahead. That means that we might be talking to someone about how we're feeling. It might mean that we're stopping and taking a minute to recognize if we're uncomfortable with the change that's happening. Those are some ways we can prepare ourselves so that we don't break, right? If we get bent and we're not ready for it, we're going to break. We don't want that to happen. There's also a lot of other foods that we change in the kitchen, right? We can hard boil an egg. We can cook things in the oven or on the stovetop. So it's really important that we have change in the kitchen, or we wouldn't have all the delicious food that we like. So change is really, really important in FoodPrints class. And while sometimes we don't always love it in life, we like to know what comes next and we like things that are predictable. I also know that when change comes, we can get through it by helping each other, talking about it, and really taking a moment to see how we're feeling and reflect on that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.